Welcome back, fellow food geeks. It's good to have you back. I hope you're all doing really well. Today we are going to make dum aloo, which is a seasoned potato curry, and this is from Punjab. This is a Punjabi curry which is found on roadside dhabas when you are in the northwest frontier. This is a delicious dish. It's spicy, it's tangy, it's very flavorful and has a handful of ingredients, and it's pretty easy to make. Now there are three types of dum aloo in India, that is curried vegetable. One is Banarasi, which is from Uttar Pradesh, some around that area, and one is from Kashmir and one is from Punjab. This is the Punjabi version. I'll be making the other two as well. So I've taken small round potatoes, any kind would do really. If you have big ones, you could chop them into smaller pieces. This is the size we want, and what I'm going to do is I have boiled them. You can either pressure cook them for one whistle or you can boil them in a pot, your wish. And now we are not going to peel them. People do peel for this recipe, some places, but the authentic version, there is no peeling involved. And I'm going to take a toothpick and prick each potato many times. What's that going to do is, it is going to allow the gravy to get inside the potato as it cooks in the curry. Now this is a rustic style dish, that's why I'm not removing the skin of the potatoes, and I'm cooking this in mustard oil, which is the authentic version and how it's cooked in Punjab. So I'm going to deep fry these balls in this oil, and I'm going to make sure that they're all red in color. So if you're using the skin, then they need to be wrinkly. The skin needs to be wrinkly, red and crispy. Or if you are doing it without the skin, then the potato needs to be rustic red. You have to fry it till that, you have to take it to that level. And then after frying all the potatoes, right now they're almost at the halfway mark, you can turn them. Now this is the Punjabi version, uses tomatoes, whereas the Kashmiri version does not. It is made with only spices and butter or ghee, and that version does not require any tomatoes, but this version uses tomatoes. And the Banarasi version, it has a lot of dry fruits in it and is a richer, thicker curry with a milder taste. This one is really tangy. So now that we have done frying the potatoes, we're ready. We'll take another vessel, any pot of your choice, or kadai or wok, and I'm going to take around 3 tablespoons of mustard oil. Don't worry, you can use the same oil you fried in, and in fact that oil is really good. You can use it for other recipes. And I'm going to start with 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds as soon as the oil is hot. It has already reached smoking point while we were frying, so I'm not waiting for smoking point now. It's the same oil I'm using. I put in 1 bay leaf. You can omit it if you want, but this actually gives a very good taste. I'm adding around 12 to 15 peppercorns, that's black pepper. It gives a very nice taste. You can crush it slightly if you like it to be more spicy, but I only prefer the aroma it gives, so I'm not adding more than that. And now the next thing I'm going to add is the puree of 6 tomatoes. I've taken 6 largest tomatoes, and they gave me around 2 cups of puree, which I'm going to add to this. And I'm going to mix it up. Now some people do add turmeric or turmeric depending on where you live, but I'm not going to add turmeric to this because authentically we want the red color, which is so pretty when it comes. So next thing which I've dropped in is 3 teaspoons of grated ginger or minced ginger. Actually I should have put the ginger earlier before putting the tomato puree in. I forgot, I'm sorry, but that is when you should put the ginger in and toast it slightly, so that releases more flavor in. But never mind, we're cooking it for a long time, so this will work equally well. And now I'm adding the green chilies, around 1 teaspoon of green chilies. It's approximately 2 small green chilies that I had. It's entirely optional, you can remove it if you do not like spice, that's up to you. And now salt the tomatoes because they need to sweat down, and if you want to cook raw tomatoes as soon as possible, then you need to add salt to it. And now I'm going to cover it because the tomato does sputter a bit, it comes out, it splatters, so I'm going to cover it. And now I'm adding around 1/3 of a teaspoon of hing or asafoetida. I have a mild asafoetida. If you have a strong one, add less. but if you like asafoetida, go ahead, add more. Cover it and cook it for some time. Next thing which we're going to add is red chili powder. Now this is Kashmiri red chili powder, which is only used for color. I'm adding 1 teaspoon. This is not optional because this gives the curry its color. So if you want that beautiful red color and little oil separated on top, you need to add this. But if you really do not like spice, go ahead, omit this. Although this is very mild, this is not spicy at all. This is just a color chili, purely for decoration. Now I'm going to add all the potatoes that I fried into this gravy, and as I pierced them earlier, so then now the gravy can get inside really nicely, and I'll actually show you proof of that as soon as the gravy is ready. I'm going to cut one open for you and show it to you that how nicely all the gravy, all the masalas, all the spice mix has gone in, which leads to a flavorful potato and it's not bland then. So now I'm going to add around 2-3 cups of water, 2 to 3 cups. Even if you add more than 3, that's fine because it's going to boil away anyways. You want a thickish kind of a gravy. It's very good over white rice, boiled rice. And we'll cover it and cook it for some time. Now if you are cooking it with the skin, you give it around 7 minutes more than what you would when you cook it without the skin of the potatoes, because of the skin it takes more time for the gravy to get in. So if you don't have the skin on, it will take around 15 minutes of cooking. With the skin, 7 more minutes, around 20 to 20 minutes, depends. So it has incorporated itself well. I can feel the potatoes getting a little softer by this time. I'll cook it for some more time, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add kasuri methi, which is nothing but dried fenugreek leaves, and I am going to add around 1 teaspoon of it. But the way to add it is to crush it between your palms very nicely and then add it, which releases all the essences, the aroma, and the oils are activated in the thing. And do you see the oil which has separated on top? Can you see that oil on the sides? That is what you want. That is a lot of flavor, and when it reaches that consistency is when you add the kasuri methi or the fenugreek, the dried fenugreek leaves. Just mix it, switch off the gas stove, your curry is ready to have. And now I'm going to just take one. I'll wait for it to cool down slightly, and I'll just take one and I'm going to just show it to you. I'm not even going to use a spoon. I'm just going to break it apart with my hands so that you see how soft this is, and you see how the masala has gone inside and the potato is not bland from inside. It's spiced up well, it's fragrant, it's juicy, and this is a lovely curry to have. So go ahead, try it. Let me know how you liked it. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed the video. Please let me know if I can make something else which you'd like to see. Also share the video, subscribe if you haven't, and press the bell notification as well. That would lead you to, or make sure that you find out about each of my new postings as and when they happen. So I hope you do try this, and I promise you it is going to turn out fabulous. You are going to love this curry. It's rustic and authentic and is absolutely lip-smackingly delicious. And I'll catch you the next time when you come back, because there is a whole lot of goodness and deliciousness where this came from. Bye!